What up, though, y'all? It's Chris. Appreciate you connecting with me while I do some of these steps, the 10,000 of them. It's a pretty mild day. It says it's 50 degrees today. I don't know. It's felt like it sometimes. Other times it's felt like it's about 30. So I don't know what in the world is going on. But shout out to you guys, my subs. Thanks for riding along with me. The road to 5,000. Slow motion is better than no motion. Well, let's get into the topic, man. The Daniel Penny trial is over. He was found not guilty of the lesser charge. And, you know, this has been a divisive trial. A lot of people believe that he shouldn't have got off. A lot of people feel like that he, was supposed to get off. And then you have a good chunk of people that feel like this never should have been a trial in the first place. So let's unpack some of this. I've seen people who live in New York that say the reason why they were in support of him and didn't feel like he should have been charged is because they've rode the subway. And when you've experienced certain things on the subway, you get it. You're like, you see why he acted. And I mean, I was not there, but from what I have seen, from what I understand of people who were there, this man acted protecting people that were on the subway from a guy that was seemingly on substances. He has substances in his system when the medical authorities came. So it's not a good situation. It's never great when a life is lost for whatever reason. It's not a situation where there are no winners. But now, this case, it's created civil unrest, and it's really just because one was black and one was white. If this were two white people, it wouldn't have made anywhere near as many waves. If it were two black people, it wouldn't have made anywhere near as many waves. It just so happens that one was white and one was black, and that's what everybody is leaning into. Not everything is race related. Not everything is fueled by race. There are situations that are going to happen amongst people that are of different ethnicities, and it has absolutely nothing to do with race. It's just two people that had a conflict. I really do believe that this was such a thing. I don't believe that it was racially motivated. Now, I don't know Daniel Penny's background. I don't know if he's ever said any goofy stuff online before that was race inflammatory or any of the such. But in this case, even if he did, I still would have a hard time believing that this particular instance, acting in this moment when you have a guy that's behaving irate and people's safety is on the line, that he just decides, I'm going to act purely because of race. I'm of this race, you're of that race. I'm of this group, you're of that group, and so I'm going to act now. No, I don't believe that this was one of those type of things. In the civil unrest, I'm seeing a lot of anger. I'm seeing BLM members. I think this might be, one of the things that I'm most disappointed about, and it's about BLM members kind of encouraging violence. I don't think that that's a good answer for this. It's not going to help anyone. The guy is gone, and there's no amount of creating civil unrest that's going to bring him back. And there's also no amount of civil unrest that is going to change the verdict. So I don't encourage people go out trying to do vigilante justice, which is what this BLM leader, I don't know who this guy is because I don't really follow BLM like that. But when I seen him speaking and, the news kind of showed a clip of him, it said BLM leader with his name. And When you have a platform and you have a voice that people follow and people respect, there's a responsibility that comes with that. And I don't really feel like that these folks realize that in moments like this. In moments like this, it's even more important to show grace and restraint and just class. You can't always act out with anger. You can't always act out with violence. You can't always call for vigilante justice, if you will, which is what the guy is saying in this case. It's just a bad look. And I say this as a black man. I think that this is something that they should not turn into a reason to riot, a reason to get violent. Certainly not, a reason to burn things. Because, not to be funny, but this has been how black folks have responded to things. And it doesn't help. It doesn't help. All you end up doing ultimately is damaging your own community. I understand being frustrated about things, but the way you go about it is what matters. Being angry about the verdict of something, there's nothing about going and burning down your local grocery store or the fashion shops you normally go to. There's nothing about burning those down that is going to make anything better. Now, I'm not saying that that's what they're going to do here. I'm just giving examples of what I've seen whenever there's this sort of civil unrest. Soon as the sun goes down, things get pretty bad. Sometimes beforehand, but it gets really bad when nightfall happens. And I really don't want to see that happen. New York has been on the news a lot lately, and not for very good reasons. And that's sad to see because, we look at New York as being the example of what American living is. We look at it like that, and internationally it's looked at like that. So when you have a city that the whole world is watching, it's very important for you to respond with a certain level of grace to certain things. So I say this sincerely. I really hope that New York does not respond in the worst possible fashion to this verdict. I've already seen people that were in the court making threats at the defendant. And now I'm seeing people calling for vigilante justice after the verdict. I just really don't want to see another situation where black folks are being portrayed on the news in a very negative light, behaving uncivilized. Some of those things is very embarrassing because it portrays us in a way of being uncivilized. And when you have a stereotype that's very negative and then you continue to do things to lean into it, you make it very hard to beat those allegations. So this is just me as a black man hoping that it's a bad situation and that people don't make it even worse. So I'm gonna leave it there, y'all. Here's hoping, man. I'm still rooting for New York. I'm a Detroiter and I root for New York because I believe that New York is still a great city that's just going kind of through a downtrodden. And this is another chapter in that downtrodden. So I'm hoping, like everything else, this too shall pass. But I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.